Kohlberg's theory of moral development. This is Lawrence Kohlberg, an American psychologist who decided to further develop Piaget's theory of moral development. Kohlberg's theory has 3 levels, each with 2 stages. He presented 72 Chicago boys, 10 to 16 years of age, with a scenario, and asked a series of questions to study how people morally reason at different ages. He used his observations to develop his theory. Level 1. Pre-conventional morality. Stage 1. Punishment, obedience, orientation. This is Timmy. He is in the first stage of moral development. This is Timmy's teacher. Timmy behaves for his teacher in order to avoid being punished. Stage 2. Instrumental relativist orientation. Now that Timmy has reached the second stage of moral development, he recognizes that Susie has different views than him, and is willing to help her as long as she helps him too. Level 2. Conventional morality. Stage 3. Bad boy, good girl orientation. In the third stage of moral development, Timmy makes decisions based on what others will think about him. He desires to live up to society's expectations. Stage 4. Law and order orientation. In the fourth stage of moral development, Timmy obeys the law because he believes they maintain order in society. Many members of society remain at stage 4, as they allow an outside force to dictate their morals. Post-conventional morality. Stage 5. Social contract orientation. As an adult, Timmy has reached the 5th stage of moral development. He now sees laws as a social contract with group consensus. He strives for general welfare and wants to help the greatest number of people possible. Stage 6. Universal ethical principle orientation. Kohlberg struggled to find people who consistently operated at this stage. When Timmy reaches the 6th stage, he acts because it is right, not because it will help himself or is the common choice. He disobeys laws he feels are unjust and puts himself in others' shoes to view situations from different perspectives. Now we examine the moral development stages of a father and his son. Andrew, age 10. The scenario. Joe is a 14-year-old boy who wants to go to camp a lot. His father promises him he can go if he saves up the money for it himself. Joe works hard at his paper route and saves up the $40 it costs to go to camp, and a little extra. Just before camp is going to start, his father changes his mind. Some of his friends decide to go on a special fishing trip, and Joe's father is short of the money it will cost. He tells Joe to give him the money he saved from the paper route. Joe doesn't want to give up going to camp, so he thinks of refusing to give his father the money.
Should Joe refuse to give his father the money?
Yes.
Why?
Because he saved up the money himself, so he deserves to do what he wants with it.
Does his father have the right to tell Joe to give him the money?
No.
Why?
Because Joe saved up the money himself, and if the father needs money to do something he wants to do, he should have to save up his money.
Does giving the money have anything to do with being a good son?
Yes.
Why?
because if he gives the money, it's being a good son to his father, but he wouldn't feel as good because he wouldn't have fun going to camp, so his father would be a bad father. But if he doesn't give the money, they would think of him not as if he doesn't give him the money, then his father won't think of him very well, but he'll think that he did the right thing because he gets to go to the camp he wants to go.
Alright. Joe's father promised him he could go to camp if he earned the money. Is the fact that his father promised the most important thing in the situation?
Yes.
Why?
Because he promised him to go, so that means that when the father asked him that he needs the money for camping, that's breaking his promise.
Okay. Is it important to keep a promise to someone you don't know very well and may never see again?
Yes, because keeping that promise is still being a good person, so even if you don't see them again, you should still keep your promise.
Andrew seems to fall somewhere between the second and third stages of moral development. His response about how the father made a promise and should save money himself shows that he views things in terms of fairness. It would be unfair for Joe's father to break his promise. This is a stage 2 answer. He also believes Joe's good and his father's bad, and that the father is being selfish wanting Joe's money. This is a stage 3 answer. Sean, age 49. Scenario. In Europe, a woman was near death from a special kind of cancer. There was one drug that the doctors thought might save her. It was a form of radium that a druggist in the same town had recently discovered. The drug was expensive to make, but the druggist was charging 10 times what the drug cost him to make it. He paid $400 for the radium and charged $4,000 for a small dose of the drug. The sick woman's husband, Heinz, went to everyone he knew to borrow the money and tried every legal means, but he could only get together about $2,000, which was half of the cost. He told the druggist that his wife was dying and asked him to sell it cheaper or let him pay later. But the druggist said, "No, I discovered the drug and I'm going to make money from it." So having tried every legal means, Heinz gets desperate and considers breaking into the man's store to steal the drug for his wife.
Should Heinz steal the drug?
Yes.
Why?
Because his wife needs the drug, and it's more important for his wife to have the drug and live than it is for him to have morals at that point in his life.
Is it right or wrong for him to steal the drug?
For the situation, it's right for him to steal the drug.
Why?
Because he needs it for his wife.
Does Heinz have a duty or obligation to steal the drug?
Yes.
For the same reason? Or do you have another thing?
For the same reason, because his wife needs the drug to live.
If Heinz doesn't love his wife, should he still steal the drug for her?
Yes.
So, what's your reason for it?
Because his wife needs the drug to live, and it would be his moral duty to do whatever he can to keep his wife alive, regardless of whether he loves her or not.
Suppose the person dying is a stranger. Should Heinz still steal the drug?
That's a trick question. Yes, he should. If he feels an obligation to that person in some way, that he knows that person and knows that person needs the drug, and neither him or the person can afford the drug, then yes, I feel he should put himself on the line to steal the drug.
And it's against the law to steal the drug. Does that make it morally wrong?
No.
Why?
Because morals are different than laws. Laws are made to keep people from doing things that are legally wrong. Morals go beyond the law, because sometimes morals are for things that are against the law. They're more for humanity.
Sean's last comment shows he is most likely operating at the post-conventional level in stage 5. He is able to differentiate between laws and morals and believes morals can override the law. In his eyes, Hines should do whatever it takes to save his wife because it is the humane thing to do.